This is Charlie Jones and Merlin Olsen, San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium. Halftime, where Denver is in front of San Diego by a score of 7-6. A very lethargic first quarter.
Charlie, not a lot at stake. Obviously, San Diego completely out of the picture at 5-10, and they're trying to look good. I mean, there are certainly incentives for them to play well today. There are contracts to be negotiated. There are people to be designated as Plan B free agents who will be free to do some roaming around and positions on next year's team. A lot of personal things, but not a lot to worry about as a team. Now, for the Broncos, they've already determined they are the AFC's winningest team. They've got home field advantage for the entire playoffs. And it's difficult, I think, to get out there and say, hey, get it going. The big difference in football games is not differences in talent. It's not differences in ability. It's differences in emotion. And that's what we saw. Two teams without emotion in that first quarter.
Then 6.5 minutes into the second quarter, something happened that all of a sudden both teams became very emotional, and all of a sudden we had a football game.
The competitive juices are there. They just needed to be activated, and they were activated in this first half by a goal line stand by the Denver Broncos. And for 3 plays in a row, the ball was locked up inside, and Denver played very emotionally and aggressively. Look at that swarming defense. The response was positive on both sides. Denver ended up coming back for a touchdown a short time later, and San Diego picked up the pace, and they were able to get things going much better here in the second quarter.
Oh, yeah, all of a sudden Tolliver started making some connections, and they were moving the ball. Now let's talk about Denver. When we talked with Dan Reeves yesterday, he said he was afraid the team would not play with emotion, would not play hard, and if they did not do that, there was always a specter of injuries.
He said if you're not going 100%, Charlie, there is the chance that you get hurt, and I certainly subscribe to that. If you're being careless on the field, if you got sloppy in your performance, that's the time that you are liable to take a shot. And Dan Reeves worried, I think, more than anything else about getting out of this game with his team healthy. Going into the playoffs, there are a couple of things you like to have going. You'd like to be healthy. You'd like to have your best players there. You'd like to be balanced. And certainly the Broncos are a balanced team. That's of the rebuilding things that they've done this year. They have worked to develop that running game, to develop that more physical defense, to balance out in some positions where they've been weak. And you want big play capability, and they've proven to have that too. So they have some real pluses going into the playoff. Don't want to lose it here today.
All right, and here are the halftime statistics.
Look down at it as the Broncos have only 6 first downs to Chargers 11, but they were able to get that one sustained drive together.
And Denver will have the ball to start the second half. Darren Carrington is the return man. And the Broncos will move on offense from their own 29-yard line. Just a couple of quarters away from a few days rest, and then back for preparation for the playoffs for the Broncos.
A lot of players, Charlie, talking about having a few days to spend with their families. Some will be flying home to various parts of the country. Others have flown their families out to join them for the holidays. So it is a holiday time. It doesn't matter whether your season's over or it's going to continue. There's still going to be a little time to enjoy the holiday.
Kubiak, a little play action fake, rolls back to this side, slips the tackle, and slides to the 35-yard line. So he has 6. It'll be second down and 4. When I came to the stadium and I walked in, I got on the elevator. There were a couple of Bronco players, so I rode down a couple of levels with them, and they were talking about the same thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Beautiful weather. Doesn't seem like Christmas. It is Christmas in Denver, but it doesn't seem like Christmas here in San Diego.
You better believe it's Christmas in Denver. I think a little colder than that. You can't have a prettier day than this, but you're right. Doesn't look like Santa's going to arrive, although Santa got here.
Santa did.
Santa got here earlier today. Oh, intercepted.
Diving interception. Did he have possession?
I think he did.
Vincey Glenn was going for it. They're going to... let's see.
I think it's an interception. He drops it after the fact, Charlie. Vincey Glenn, who had missed a chance to sack Kubiak on the play just prior to this. He was the man that dove at Kubiak and missed him. So angry at himself, he comes right back. Emotion, Charlie. Pumped up, came back and made that big play.
And even though the game has, as we have discussed several times, has no reflection upon the outcome of the season, I would expect that there are some emotional words exchanged in the locker room at halftime? Maybe more by the players and the coaches is, come on, let's get going.
Well, you don't want to embarrass yourself. Doesn't matter what's on the line, Charlie. You don't want to embarrass yourself. I think Tom White talking to the side judge and
the play is ruled as an interception with a fumble and then down by contact.
And so Vincey Glenn has the interception. That is his 4th of the year.
Vincey Glenn, when he hits the ground, initially has not been touched by an opponent. He has to control the football. Once he had done that, then the ball was fumbled and he covered it. He was then tapped by one of the Denver Broncos, but the ball has gone over, so the Broncos, who have been prone to the turnover, as have the Chargers today. And what do we got here? A review?
The umpire had stepped over the ball, and usually that's a dead giveaway that he has received information from the replay booth that they do want to take another look at it.
Let's see if we can see what happened on that play. Vincey Glenn right here just turning to come in and accelerate on the receiver. And that's Sewell right there. Steps in front, takes the football, hits the ground, has control of the football. Yes. Ooh, well, does he? Okay. But did the ball hit the ground? Well, maybe we can see it again.
Continue play. After review, the play stands.
The play stands as seen by the officials. Here's one more quick look at it.
A good anticipation, you know, for the diving interception. And then the body still, you know, and then the ball kind of jars loose.
But I think, Charlie, even though the ball's loose, it never hit the ground.
It never hit the ground because his body was underneath it. You're right. You're right. Good point. San Diego has the ball at the Denver 41-yard line. Tolliver, a quick out to the far side is complete. And that's Craig McEwen on the receiving end.
Sidearm throw almost got Tolliver in trouble as he had to throw around a couple of defenders on that play.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. And it's a day like this that many years ago, the first announcer said the shadows are creeping across the field of play.
I don't think they're creeping here today. They're attacking the field.
They are. And here's Marion Butts. And he's got just a yard, maybe 2 to the 34. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Rick Dennison, and the shadows and the contrast really do play havoc with our video.
Making it very difficult. Charlie, one of the things that the San Diego Chargers did early in this year to try and beef up this team is to bring in a couple of big tackles, Brett Miller and Joel Patton, a couple of 300-pounders, 6'7", both of them. But they really have not been as productive at those tackle positions as they wanted them to be. They may be out in that Plan B market again if it survives the onslaught of the Players Association.
3rd down, Tolliver, he's throwing it away. Everybody was covered. He was out of time.
Tolliver showing some real pain as he took a shot on that play. He is a tough kid. He is really a tough one.
He looks more like a linebacker in practice, doesn't he?
Well, he's got a little bit of that linebacker toughness to him. Last week in that ball game, he went in to protect Arthur Cox, a 280-pounder. You got to be, when a quarterback goes in to help a 280-pounder, you know that there's some real strength in him. As McMahon may get called on here later in this ball game. They're talking to Tolliver on the sideline.
Chris Barr from 53 yards away and makes it. His longest of the year. And the Chargers have the lead. How sweet it is. And that is all foot and ball. There is no wind today. The Chargers 9, Denver 7. We'll be back with a kickoff in a moment.
They predicted a gloomy year for everyone. But they didn't count on Mazda, with cars and trucks engineered to feel just right. Now Mazda is racing toward an all-time sales record, with record-setting deals that can get you $750 cash back on 89 Mazda trucks now. So come get a record-setting deal at the Mazda Race to the Record. At your local Mazda dealer now.
It began as a game. It turned into a battle. And now, it's out of control. Bud Bowl 2, coming January 28th. This time, it's war.
You wish your data were better directed, that all your departments were interconnected. How are you gonna do it? Well, you're gonna PS2 it with the IBM PS2. You wanna network up, network down, exchange information with other towns. When you're all linked up, you can share ideas from bottom to top. How are you gonna do it? I'll tell you. You're gonna PS2 it. The solution is IBM.
And Chris Barr, who just booted that 53-yard field goal to give the Chargers the lead, will be kicking off with Darren Carrington and Ken Bell, the return man. At the goal line, it is Carrington to the 20. Nice return near the 30-yard line. Martin Bayless makes the tackle. And so San Diego, with the interception, capitalized on it.
It did.
NFL Live next Sunday. Bob Costas, O.J. Simpson, the wild card game. It will be Houston against either Cincinnati or Pittsburgh. Cincinnati plays Minnesota tomorrow night. If they win, they are in. If they lose, Pittsburgh is in as the wild card.
And putting rib guards on Billy Joe Tolliver on the sideline as Tolliver took a shot to the ribs on that last play. They've got the pads in place. They're now putting an ace bandage around to hold him down.
Denver is on the ground with Mel Bratton.
Charlie, let me finish that
Yes.
quick story about Billy Joe Tolliver. Last week against Kansas City, he thought he had a shot of, he saw Derek Thomas, a rookie linebacker for Kansas City, kick Arthur Cox, his tight end. And Tolliver went in to defend and just about got himself tossed out of the game. Derek Thomas was thrown out of the game, and we asked Dan Henning if he'd ever had a quarterback called for a roughness call. He said, yes, David Archer down in Atlanta, but he said, you don't see it very often. I have never seen that myself.
I'm not sure that I've ever seen one.
Well, I
don't
think
so.
Tolliver earned the respect of all of his teammates with that little act, and I think he's tough enough that we're going to see him back in this ball game. Yeah, he's pulling the jersey back on and getting ready to play some more.
Bobby Humphrey carried, and Gary Plummer made the tackle. First down for Denver at their own 40. He does want to work on those numbers. He doesn't want to go with that kind of a taste.
He'd
in
like
his
to
mouth.
whittle on him a bit, and the Broncos right now would like to put a long drive together, eat that clock, and put some more points on the board.
Mel Bratton. Cedric Figueroa with the tackle at the 40. Interesting, when we talked with Mel Bratton, he's so yesterday, very, very soft-spoken young man, and he talked about coming back off of the knee injury, and when he had the knee injury, said nobody looked him in the face. They'd all look down and see how the knee was.
Check his legs. And of course, he went through a real traumatic year, drafted by the Miami Dolphins. Would have been the first player ever to grow up, go to high school there, Miami University, and then play with the Dolphins, but elected to sit out, go back through the draft, and came to Denver. He said, I think I made the right choice. I feel good about the way things have turned out.
He did make the right choice. QBX pass, incomplete. There's no flag.
Vance Johnson saying he had Gil Bird all over the back of his legs.
I think Bird got there a little early. May have gotten away with one.
Let's watch that battle again. Bird giving Vance tremendous respect. Johnson runs him off and comes back against the grain. Where's the contact here? Right there.
Oh, before, yes. Still waiting on the flag.
Not reviewable, but Vance Johnson very ticked at that point, and you can't blame him.
That's the referee, Tom White. Of course, see, it's not his call. He's at the opposite end, but there should have been a flag, but there wasn't, and it's third down. Kubiak from the shotgun stumbles a bit, scrambles out, and he will be dropped.
Another sack to add to the total.
Bert Grossman, he now has 9 on the year.
As he continues to make an impact. 9 sacks in the last 8 games, Charlie.
His little quarter. The Chargers have 4 quarterback sacks today. Grossman a little slow starting the season. Oh, this one really hangs up. McConkey, fair catch. Fumbles it. Denver has the ball. And heading is Mark Munford, headed for the goal line.
Can't advance enough defensively.
If it hits the ground.
Did he take it out of the air?
I'm wondering.
Still a muff, Charlie.
No, you're right.
Can't advance a muff.
You're correct. No.
Ball bounces off the chin and right into the lap.
That's right. It is a
Mark Mumford, and Mumford downfield, but they'll bring it back. But McConkey, who's got a little rust on him, tried to field that one. I wonder if he wasn't looking up into that sun. Sun coming over that side of the stadium may have been right in his eyes as he glanced up. Watch this. Seems to have it fixed, but it comes right off his chin strap. He misjudged it at the last moment, came down and caught him on the chest and bounced.
And Denver with another opportunity. Here's Bobby Humphrey trying to get outside, and he'll lose yardage. Chance for you to check around the National Football League. The winners all in white. These games played early. See how your favorites did. Here we have 9:56 time remaining. We're in the 3rd quarter. San Diego leading Denver by a score of 9-7. In case you weren't, San Francisco leading Chicago 16-0 in the 3rd. That's the only other game going on. Here is our score and the time in the 3rd. A muff is when a team does not have possession, when they touch the ball but they do not have possession. If they have possession, it is a fumble, and there are different rules applying.
That is advanceable.
Yes. And this pass is complete to Orson Mobley. Gary Plummer makes the tackle. Gary Plummer, number 50 for San Diego, inside linebacker, leading tackler, and probably the least known defender for San Diego. It's really an interesting story because he plays so well and nobody knows about him. On the street, they mistake him for Billy Ray Smith, and they ask him for his autograph. He says, now I just sign Billy Ray and give it to him and keep moving on. He says it's easier.
Classic overachiever. Played for Mike Polishak and Ron Lynn up at California, and then the Oakland Invaders before he came here, so he knows this defensive staff very well.
3rd down and 9. Kubiak, a timing pattern, and it is intercepted. The Chargers have another one. This is Elliott Smith. Smith, the rookie, his first interception of the year, and he returns it to the 30-yard line.
There is a flag down on the field, Charlie, and they are going to discuss what kind of penalty it should be when it occurred. Obviously, if it happened on the run back, the ball will belong to the Chargers. I see Charger defenders staying out on the field. That is not good news for the fans here.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. San Diego. First down for Denver.
Costly penalty, yardage and possession.
Kubiak taking the heat right there. 34-44.
Bayless.
No. Who is it? 24. Lester Lyles coming in from the outside. Vince Glenn also charging in, but good play by the rookie, showing you his stuff. Elliott Smith, and they'll take that one out of the record books, and he'll be unhappy about that.
Yeah.
Well, big opportunity for Kubiak and Denver now as the drive continues.
And a first down at the San Diego 13-yard line. Chargers lead at 9-7. 8.5 minutes left in the 3rd. Kubiak good faking. And he completes the pass to Bratton. And Bratton goes to about the 7-yard line.
When we asked Mel Bratton who would be most excited about the kind of success he has had this year, he said, my mom. No question about it. She has watched him with pride this year as he has fit in, earned himself starting responsibilities on this Bronco team, along with fellow rookie Bobby Humphrey. They've done a good job. Doug Weidel, 3 rookies. starting and playing very productively for this Denver Bronco offense.
2nd and 4. And here is Bobby Humphrey, and he bounces out, still on his feet, and he'll end up losing more yards. So San Diego now trying to put together the same kind of goal line stand that Denver did with 6.5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Frustrated by that roughing call moments ago that robbed them of the turnover, they come back with an emotional play here, and Humphrey makes a mistake. Just stay in there, Bobby. Don't try and make a big play here. Too much time inside. He breaks away, but lots of San Diego Chargers out there. O'Neal, the first one to get a shot on him, takes him down.
And it'll be 3rd down and 7. The ball just outside of the 10-yard line.
Ron Lynn said this defense has improved tremendously against the run since the insertion of Les Miller, big 300-pounder in that line.
The pass dropped off to Sewell underneath the coverage, and the tackle is made at the 6-yard line by Elvis Patterson. Gain of 4, 4th down and 3.
Elvis Patterson has heard a lot of boos and a lot of cheers. He's a big play and a bust play kind of cornerback. That was a big play. He likes that kind of play.
And now David Treadwell with the field goal attempt. He is 0 for 1, missing from 43 yards out in the ball game, and this is to take the lead.
Treadwell had hit on 26 of 32 field goals. Let's see what he does here.
24 yards away. Right down the middle. And Denver moves on top by 1, 10-9.
This isn't an ad for diapers. This is an ad for Zenith's astonishingly automatic, high-resolution VHS camcorder. When you have a Zenith camcorder like this, babies will play a leading role. Zenith, quality.
The Mazda race to the record is almost over. We said we'd do whatever it took to set an all-time sales record, and we're almost there. But the race isn't over yet. There's still time to get record-setting deals, including savings of up to $1,000 on 626 and MX-6. But hurry, the Mazda race to the record will soon be over. At your local Mazda dealer now.
They say drink plenty of fluids. Swallowing's total pain.
Introducing new advanced formula chloroseptic with the power of phenol. It penetrates nerve endings to work on contact, so it gives the fastest relief. And nothing lasts longer. New advanced formula chloroseptic works fastest, and nothing lasts longer. Now the fast, long-lasting relief of advanced formula chloroseptic comes in new Cool Mint spray. Also, try new Cool Mint lozenges.
Welcome back to San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium. I'm Charlie Jones with Merlin Olsen, and we talked throughout the season, in reality, about different terminology that is used in the game of professional football.
Charlie, one of the most difficult things about football is being able to talk without using too many words. So teams begin to use keywords or phrases. In the case of the receivers, they developed what they call a receiver tree. And we'll have a chance to look quickly at it. They just number each of the patterns, so that when they talk about a 1 pattern, you know that's a quick down and in, or a 4 is a down and out. We'll come back to it in just a moment.
Anthony Miller with the kickoff return. Now let's go back to the receivers tree, and you can give us a little more.
So in essence, what they're doing with this kind of diagram is being able to say, when they say 9, you know what the pattern is. You don't have to say you have to do this and go down and in. But Charlie, at this time of year, wouldn't it be nice to decorate that tree a little differently? Not bad.
I like that.
Season greetings.
I hope I have that kind of receivers tree tomorrow morning when I open it up. I want a lot of packages. Denver leading 10-9. San Diego with the ball. Tolliver is the quarterback, and he hands off to Marion Butts. And I'll tell you one thing, this Denver defense has taken the running game away from San Diego that was so effective against Kansas City.
Charlie, Wade Phillips has done a marvelous job with this defense. And when I looked at this team early in the year, looked at the number of new players, looked at the fact that they had a new system that they were putting in, Wade Phillips was going to try and put a system in that was dramatically different than what they had under Joe Collier. I said, it's probably going to take a full year. Well, they have had a marvelous year defensively. The players have taken to the system, and he has fit the system to the players.
Marion Butts, 13 carries, 14 yards. Play action fake. Tolliver has time. He goes deep, and it is incomplete. Tim Spencer, the intended receiver.
That will please Wade Phillips on the sideline. They've not allowed a 100-yard rusher all year. And 9 games have held opponents under 100 yards. That's the whole team under it. They have not allowed a 300-yard passer on the year, Charlie. That's the kind of consistency that they have been able to achieve during this season. And Wade Phillips' name being bandied around for some of those open head coaching jobs. And I think as well it should, yeah. Although the Broncos would hate to lose him.
We asked if he was ready, and he said yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 3rd down and 13. Here's pressure. Nelson, the intended receiver, and the pass is incomplete. So Tolliver continues to struggle against a very pressing, very strong defense for the Denver Broncos.
One of the changes in this defense, it's an attacking style, and they really have said, we're not going to try and fool people with the defensive scheme. You're going to have to take them on man-to-man and be aggressive. And the Denver players responded very well to that. They've gotten those sacks on the year, Charlie, with those down linemen, not with a lot of stunts like they had to do in the past.
Vance Johnson is the return man.
Oh, hello. Fair catch, huh?
Either that or they're getting serious about field position.
No, he's not going to fair catch.
To the 50, 45, and out of bounds. He got about 13 yards on the return following that 38-yard punt. So Denver has the ball. Excellent field position. And the score, Denver 10, San Diego 9. We'll be back in just a moment. This is Charlie Jones, Merlin Olsen on Christmas Eve in San Diego. Denver has the lead by 1, 10-9. And the ball at the Chargers 44. Play action fake by Kubiak. He completes the pass to Orson Mobley, and Mobley just mows down a couple of Chargers before Gary Plummer finally gets them.
Martin Bayless tried to tackle a 265-pound Orson Mobley, and Mobley just swatted him aside like a fly and then proceeded to step downfield and pick up the first down.
The ball at the 34-yard line. In case you joined us late, John Elway played into the second quarter and then came out. He's not hurt or anything. They just want to rest him, make sure he does not get hurt. Have Kubiak play some quality time when the game is on the line. Bobby Humphrey. And he is knocked out at the 23, 11 yards, back-to-back first downs.
Highly productive rookie season for Bobby Humphrey. Many feel that he will rewrite the Broncos running books if he stays healthy. Certainly doing a fine job during this season, and on that play as he picks up a first down. And Charlie, he would not be doing that without some fine play up front. And that offensive line has been rebuilt. We'll focus on them over the next few plays and tell you a little bit about that.
Rewrite it, I tell you, he's already made some erasures. He's moved some names around.
Yes, he has.
Humphrey again. The ball comes out with San Diego in possession. That's Leslie O'Neal.
Well, you talk about big play people. There's a Pro Bowler. Leslie O'Neal came in and stole the football. Larceny on his mind. He went in and stripped it away. The turnover. Watch the play develop. Humphrey goes into the line. They'll stand him up. Now watch O'Neal reach inside right there. 91. Look at him. strips the football away, catches it, and heads upfield. Now, if Humphrey is still moving forward, legal play. And that's what the official said. He's still fighting for yardage. He's vulnerable to having that ball stolen.
And O'Neal showed pretty good hands, too.
Even up, 4 turnovers apiece.
Tolliver fakes, gives to Nelson. Nelson will head fake inside, and he has 2 yards to the 35-yard line. So San Diego at their own 35. Second down and 8, 3:53 time remaining in the third quarter.
Well, you take those turnovers any way you can get them, Charlie, and Leslie O'Neal will smile about that one. Play very close to being blown dead by the officials, but it was legal.
Second and 8. Walker in motion. Incomplete to Anthony Miller.
Charlie, Paul Brown many years ago said the way to build a football team is to start right in the middle. I think Miller just banged a little bit. I think we'll see him coming up off the ground. Chance to watch the end of that play, and Miller's still on the ground. A Pro Bowl player. Let's see if we get. Ooh, he had that knee on the ground, hit by the defensive back, and kind of stretched that groin. He may have a groin injury. That hurts when that knee could go nowhere, and they drove the body down over the. One more look at it. Players in the NFL with amazing flexibilities. I'm constantly amazed at how they survive this kind of collision, but that one hurt.
I just did something incredible. 5 minutes ago, I had gray hair, but now I don't. And this is what did it. New Option Instant from Clairol. The advanced way to get rid of the gray. Option Instant for men is different. With theirs, you have to pour and mix ingredients, but Option's the advanced way. All you need is this. It's so easy. And only 5 minutes later, your natural-looking color's back.
The hair feels thicker, too.
New Option Instant from Clairol, the advanced way to get rid of the gray.
The Mazda race to the record is almost over. We said we'd do whatever it took to set an all-time sales record, and we're almost there. But the race isn't over yet. There's still time to get record-setting deals, including savings of up to $1,000 on 626 and MX-6. But hurry, the Mazda race to the record will soon be over. At your local Mazda dealer now.
Thank you, Aunt Martha. Nope, not believable. Try. Thanks. Joe, pretend she just gave you a sundae. But she gives me stuff like this. Try again.
Hey, kids, look who's here.
Thank you, Aunt Martha.
You're welcome.
This Christmas, give something kids love. McDonald's gift certificates, just 50 cents each or 10 for $5.
It is a sundae.
It's a good time for the great taste.
Joe, say thank you.
Oh, McDonald's.
I forgot.
Courtney Hall right here in the center. Watch him use his hands. Watch the way he uses his hands here. Cragen right there slaps him once, twice. Now Cragen goes outside and Holmes comes inside. Courtney Hall takes him on right there. Good job.
They're rolled down at the 44-yard line. First down, San Diego.
During the timeout, the play was reviewed, and it was declared that it was a reception by Anthony Miller. Miller is walking around on the sideline during the commercial break.
Here's the end of that play. Miller, by the way, up and functioning, too. We had no idea they were reviewing that one. And he's on his knees, Charlie, and they're right about that. He's on his knees, has control of the football. Mecklenburg hit him. The ball bounced away, but the ball is dead at that point.
And the line of scrimmage now, the 44, and a first down for San Diego. And here is Nelson stretching to the 50. Second down and 4. And this is the replay.
Here's the one that they made the reversal on. Catches the football.
Down,
the ball is dead at that point and comes out after the contact. But the minute he's contacted, the ball is deemed dead. Dan Reeves still not happy with that call. But the replay officials felt that it warranted a reversal.
Second down and 4 at the 50. Just over 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Play action fake to Butts. The pass far side is to Quinn Early near the first down marker.
Charlie, that's one of those interesting situations. In the normal course of play, there may not have been a review, but the injury allowed the luxury in the box up here for the replay officials to take a close look at it, and they deemed that it was indeed a catch and needed to be reversed.
Tom Kelleher is the replay official. It's going to be third down and about a yard to go. And as you were looking at, he was talking to our producer, Larry Cirillo. Now, we talked about Marion Butts. And Marion Butts last week, 39 carries for 176 yards. We talked about this in the first half. 176 yards. The Denver defense, that's against a very tough Kansas City defense. The Denver defense has held him to 14 yards. They have taken him completely out of the game.
Well, they have, Charlie. They certainly have.
Third down and 1. Spencer is in motion. Tolliver goes deep down the sideline, and it is intercepted.
The rookie, Steve Atwater. Such an important cog in this defensive scheme. And the youngster, with great anticipation, pulls one right out of the hands of the intended receiver. Watch him. At the highest point, strips that ball away, gets 1 foot down.
Oh.
Did he have a second foot down?
Oh, let's look again.
We maybe better look at that one again.
Let's look again.
Couldn't see from that angle, but maybe there'll be another one to tell us. Here's another look at it.
The interceptor, like a receiver, has to have 2 feet in bounds.
Got to have both feet on the ground after he gets possession of the football. Has the football.
There's
1,
2.
2.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, it's the crossover
it's in
step.
behind. It's in behind the body, but definitely an interception.
And Tolliver has been intercepted 4 times by the Denver defense.
Equals his season total of interceptions.
First down, Sammy Winder is the ball carrier, and he has about 3 to the 11. It'll be second down and 7.
Tolliver had only given up 4 interceptions on the season. That's 4 games for him. He started 4 games. Has had 4 today, stolen by the Denver defense.
Elvis Patterson with the last tackle.
Lots of turnovers. Charlie, not the kind of play that you're going to put into your record book and be proud of.
San Diego has 1 interception, 2 fumble recoveries. Denver has 4 interceptions and a fumble recovery.
Well, you've got to learn, and unfortunately, it's a painful experience. Tolliver getting some of that pain here today.
Winder with a flag down. Denver has not been penalized in the ball game. That may change right now. Leslie O'Neal with a tackle. And the reaction of the rookie quarterback in motion against Denver. On that last interception, that's their first penalty.
There's Tolliver. He thinks it's going to be a touchdown. No.
And then the rude awakening.
Well, without that great play by Atwater, that may well have been a touchdown.
Denver's defense really impressive today. They, you know, the offense I think has been a little bit sluggish, but the defense has really played well.
Illegal motion, number 88, offense, penalty is declined, third down.
So Denver still has not been penalized. That's on Clarence Kay.
Charlie, seems to me as we watch that last play develop, and it looked like there was motion by one of the Broncos on that play to get things underway. Better get your flag. One of the officials that left his yellow flag on the turf.
Third and 6. Winder and Alexander are the split backs. Play action. Kubiak a pump fake, throws, and he's got the first down. 21-yard line, Jeff Alexander. Needed 6, he got 9.
Alexander at 232 pounds. Bird will get off his man, Vance Johnson, and try to get in on the action. Wait a minute. Pow! Ouch! That one hurt.
And then Roy Bennett clinched it. 21-yard line, first down.
Bird is only 198 pounds. He's given up about 35 pounds to Jeff Alexander.
Sammy Winder. And Winder has about 3 yards on the play. It will be 2nd down and 7 into the quarter.
In 13 cities in 10 countries across the Pacific, they're playing our song. United Airlines Royal Pacific Service, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve, halfway around the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
New Britain, Connecticut is 119 miles from New York City. It only seems farther than that. People here live in the same houses their parents lived in, worship in churches where their grandparents worshiped, and work for the company their great-grandfathers built, the Stanley Works. So it's not surprising Stanley tools are made to last. It would only be surprising if they weren't.
Get ready for an eye drop so refreshing you won't believe your eyes.
Wow.
Look for Visine Extra. Like regular Visine, it gets the red out, but it also gives you an extra medication that cools, soothes, moisturizes, and protects dry, irritated eyes. For an extra medication in a formula found in no other eye drop, get Visine Extra. So refreshing.
You won't believe your eyes.
NBC Sports serves your need to know all week long. Dial 1-900-454-3500 for NBC Scores Plus. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anywhere in the USA.
Next Friday night, this will be the site of the Holiday Bowl, and the Penn State team, Joe Paterno.
A few of them still sitting up there. They were here as guests of the Chargers here today, and BYU team not here.
No, they arrive tomorrow.
Well,
no,
church.
I'm sorry.
Church.
They arrive Tuesday.
Yeah, but they were in church today, Charlie.
Were you in church today?
No, I was coming down here to work.
Second down. Little shovel pass underneath to Sammy Winder.
Talked about the rebuilding of the defense. This offensive line rebuild. Only Ken Lanier, who's in there at that right tackle position, in the same position as last year. They've got Doug Weidel, a young rookie, in at that right guard position, and Karts, who had been a guard, has moved in and solidified that center position. Jim Juriga is over there. He was a left tackle and also played briefly at the guard position on the right side, is now the left guard. And Gerald Perry has moved out from a guard position to the left tackle position. Lots of new bodies and new positions, but they have had a big year offensively.
3rd down and 3. There was a snap. There are flags and whistles. A snap, and nobody seemed to move, including the quarterback with the football.
Maybe that was the wrong time to talk about the offensive line.
I think it may have been.
Illegal procedure. Number 72, offense, still 3rd down.
That's Keith Karts, the center.
Karts shaking his head. Charlie, one of the things that is most impressive is the size that they have added. Studdard weighed 260, and Perry in his position is 305. That's up 45 pounds. Bishop at 265, replaced by Juriga at 275. That's plus 10. Bryan by Karts. He picks up 15 pounds, and I'll finish it after this play.
And that is the first penalty on Denver in the ball game, coming with 13:57 left in the 4th quarter.
He's got it, but he's going to be short of the first down. Vance Johnson, great catch. Ball thrown low and away, but Johnson will not have the first down. While they're sorting that out, let me just finish. Weidel in place of Karts. Weidel is at 287. Karts at that time last year was 270, so they picked up 17 pounds there. And Lanier, the one who's in the same spot, has gone from 275 to 290. So this is a much, much bigger and more physical offensive line, which has helped them to establish the running game. Was I hasty in saying they weren't going to make it?
I don't think so. Not according to the markers on the far side. No. It'll be 4th down.
4th down.
A football and a half to go.
Well, you add to that bigger and stronger offensive line a couple of fullbacks, Bratton and Alexander, who are 225 and 232 respectively, and Humphrey, who plays bigger than his 201 pounds. You've got a potent running game to go with Elway's passing game.
And Mike Horan will be kicking to Phil McConkey.
McConkey, remembering the last one that bounced off his chest, does not want that to happen again.
Good kick.
Whoa, rifle shot.
McConkey takes it over his shoulder. He is back to the 7, out to the 15, returns to the 19-yard line.
Horan outkicked his coverage, and McConkey almost found room up the middle.
60 yards on the kick, 12-yard return to Santa Exist in Southern California. Here was his early arrival. And we'll be back after these messages from your local station.
NBC's Christmas night gift to you, the award-winning movie for the whole family, The Sound of Music, Monday. Your Better Buick dealers, home of Buick LeSabre, the most trouble-free American car, announced no trouble value days. They're slashing year-end inventory. Want a great deal on front-wheel drive mountain performance? No trouble. This week, get no payments for 90 days? No trouble. This week, get factory cash back? No trouble. Make your best deal, then get up to $1,000 cash back depending on the option package and model you choose. Or get 4.8% GMAC financing on selected models. See Courtesy, Dean, Duncan, Goodman, or Kerr Buick this week.
What's your first priority? Miss Crowley.
Well, I'm assuming there's product in the pipeline, so...
Assuming, Miss Crowley. Unfortunately, assuming doesn't feed the bulldog.
The top business schools prepare you for every eventuality you will ever encounter in the business world, except one, business travel. We've got that one covered. United. Come fly the friendly skies.
How can Miss Crowley's 3-person sales force stay on top of her far-flung enterprise?
G'day. When they invited me along to this turnout, I took the precaution of bringing enough of the liquid gold to go around. Ah, Ripper. Looks like I did the right thing, too. That stuff looks about as popular as a piranha in a hot tub. Struth. Must be worse than I thought. Foster's. It's Australian for beer, mate.
You're watching Channel 4, home of the Buffalo.
And Santa spreading some good cheer around the stadium.
A few last-minute wishes being whispered into Santa's ear.
I've got a couple written down. I'm trying to leave a message for him.
Billy Joe Tolliver got a few that have been unanswered here today.
San Diego very ineffective on first down. High and incomplete. Anthony Miller, the intended receiver. In fact, they've been ineffective on several downs.
We can just get Tolliver some receivers about 7-2, Charlie. He's going to have a much better day. He has overthrown repeatedly, and he's had some people open. He's had some good passes, but it just appears that he is not able to harness that strength and put some touch on that ball downfield.
That's only about a 35% completion average that you saw on those numbers. And then you saw the interceptions on the far side.
His numbers not that great coming in. He's a 50% thrower coming in, so much worse here today.
Tipped up, he goes to the 21. Ron Holmes just got a hand on his foot.
Unfortunately for Holmes, Tolliver will be blown dead, I think, across the line of scrimmage, so it will not count as a sack, but a good play. Holmes, who has really come on after being traded after the second game of the season to Denver from Tampa Bay, has been a force in the last half of the season. They are really excited about what he does for that front.
Third down and 8. Third down and 7. Darren Nelson first down at the 35-yard line. Randy Robbins makes the tackle, gain of 13.
When Herschel Walker went to Minnesota, Darren Nelson was a part of the payoff package to the Dallas Cowboys. He didn't want to go to Dallas. They traded him here to San Diego. He begins to pay some dividends.
I thought he'd have a bigger impact offensively.
Well, you've got to learn a whole new system, and that's not easy, and you've got to be able to shape to it quickly. They miss Gary Anderson here, and one of Beathard's early jobs, if he does decide to accept the job, as we think he will, will be to settle the Gary Anderson situation, a holdout through this entire season.
Deep to Nelson. He's got it. 15-yard line. 60 yards. Make it 50 yards.
Billy Joe Tolliver is told when he gets a matchup with Darren Nelson on a linebacker, in this case Mecklenburg 77, he's got to throw the ball over there. And that's exactly what he does. And nobody there to help as Mecklenburg pulls him down. Well, he doesn't get a chance to enjoy this one until he gets up off the ground. Bam! Whoa! Face full of helmet. That hurt.
At the Denver 15, first down. Broncos lead it by 1, 10-9. Nelson 3 for 71. Just under 11.5 to go. And here is Butts. Flag is down. Butts goes out around the 4, maybe the 3-yard line, but there's going to be a holding call against San Diego. They'll bring it back.
Thrown in the area of the offensive line where Broderick Thompson was getting up off a block. We'll see who the call is on, but they're going to pull the ball back and throw the flag on the offensive line.
Holding. Number 76, offense, 10 yards, still first down.
On Broderick.
Charlie, I started to talk earlier about Paul Brown and his philosophy of building an offense. He said you start right in the middle. There is number 76 right there. He'll take the man down. You see him? He just grabbed him right on the spot. That's Brooks, Michael Brooks. But Paul Brown said you start with a center. He drafted, his first pick was Bob Johnson, who was with him for so many years in Cincinnati, and then the second pick a quarterback. Well, they kind of have that same philosophy here in San Diego.
First down, back at the 25. Nelson gets to the line of scrimmage. That's it. He's second down and 20. Simon Fletcher with the tackle.
Courtney Hall, a 21-year-old center, and Billy Joe Tolliver, young, strong-armed quarterback who's had his ins and outs today, but certainly with a great deal of promise, and with a great big boomer back there by the name of Marion Butts, who has not been impressive today, Charlie, but I think has real promise as a running back. They've got a pretty good middle of that offense going.
Second and 20 at the 25. Denver leads 10-9. 10:41 and counting in the ball game. This is complete at the 15-yard line to Anthony Miller. And another flag is down on the far sideline, back at the 27-yard line.
Good drive by the San Diego offense.
Illegal formation. The end is covered up.
Now, an ineligible man by virtue of moving someone up on the outside.
What it means is the end of the line where the end of the outside receiver
needs to be a full yard off the ball.
Right, and if he's up on that line of scrimmage, then only he can go downfield from that side.
That's right. So you put an ineligible man downfield.
Exactly.
You see that? I don't know if I said that right, Charlie.
It was close.
Dan Henning furious on the sideline.
No, you did say it right. That's what happens, because once the inside end moves downfield, he is ineligible and becomes an illegal formation. You could call it either way. Tolliver lots of time, throws back underneath the coverage. McEwen to the 15, to the 14. 16 yards. It'll be third down and 9. Atwater with the tackle.
Good balance, good feet by McEwen, who's had several big plays today. He's the outlet man right here. Tolliver finally goes back to him. Watch him break out of this tackle right here. Just pulls out. That's Scott Curtis, number 58, gets away from him and gets down, picks up a good chunk of that yardage, gets down inside the original marker. It's going to be third and about 8.5, 9 yards to go.
It's complete.
First down.
4-yard line, Darren Nelson. Randy Robbins brings him down.
With all of Tolliver's problems today, you can see why the coaches like him. They like what he can do when he is on, when his timing is on. Good delivery here. Zip, quick. He really rifled that ball. There's no way for Randy Robbins to recover.
And remember now, he is throwing a ball with bruised ribs that he came out of the ball game, was all wrapped up inside. He's back in there. Tell you something else, his teammates like him. They like to play for him. Here is Nelson on the sprint. Oh, he wanted to reverse and come back inside and was decked. Atwater was right there waiting at the pass. Woo-hoo.
Steve Atwater joining that secondary, and he and Dennis Smith really put some crunches on people earlier in the year. Top left side of your screen, number 27. Watch him accelerate here. Takes the backside. Darren Nelson wanted to cut it back. Atwater said, no way.
This Denver defense continues to impress.
Although this has been a very good drive for Tolliver and San Diego. They can punch it in here. They can light up that scoreboard and go ahead.
It is complete and short. Nelson and Braxton collide, and Braxton wins. Nelson down about the 3. It'll be third down and goal to go.
Braxton flipping Nelson out of bounds. Wade Phillips calling the defenses from the sideline. There you see the call going in. There were some times earlier in the year they were having a few problems, and some of the players said maybe we don't have enough defenses. Wade Phillips said, hey, we're not going to beat them with defenses. We just got to play better. And they've responded to that kind of thinking in Denver.
Spencer, the first back through. Did he get it? No signal.
A big call for Dan Henning. If he is not into the end zone, it's going to be 4th and short. Do you go for the touchdown here?
Go for the field goal. You trail by 1, kick the field goal.
Well, they had 3 shots down there earlier, and they didn't get a touchdown with 3 shots inside. Let's see how close Tim Spencer gets to that goal line. He's just going to burrow inside. Mumford there along with about 2 or 3 other shirts, but they did a good job, and they're going to go for it, Charlie. They're going for the touchdown. They've gone for it on 17 occasions, and they've only made it 5 times. But this would be a big confidence builder or perhaps a confidence breaker.
Spencer. Touchdown.
Second effort. Tim Spencer.
An 11-play, 81-yard drive.
Those who were with us earlier will remember how Denver had dominated on the line of scrimmage in that earlier goal line stand. Not so here. Good job up front by Courtney Hall and Broderick Thompson and David Richards in particular. And there's the touchdown.
And the extra point is good. And San Diego has regained the lead. And we'll be back with the kickoff in a moment.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything this holiday season.
four-wheel drive?
It means that you can drive in every direction at the same time. There's 4 steering wheels for driving.
Anti-lock brakes?
Yes, you can lock them so no one will spill them.
Kids may not understand what Ford Aerostar's new four-wheel drive and standard rear anti-lock brakes are all about. But rest assured, their parents do.
Now get 4.8 financing for up to 48 months or a $1,000 cash bonus on Ford Aerostar.
Enemy on the open. Moving up on your right, Bravo 2. Fire!
I'm 30 miles from the action, but I'm responsible for a digital communication link between headquarters and brigade.
Enemy tank, checkpoint 1.
If the data isn't programmed right, 5,000 troops could be cut off.
Enemy forces together.
But I'd never let that happen to my brigade.
Op 4 is eliminated.
Be all that you can be.
You did it, sir.
Outstanding.
Get an edge on life in the Army.
NBC sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Interstate Batteries. For a dealer near you, call 1-800-CRANK-IT. And by Budweiser, the king of beers. Remember, know when to say when.
The man himself, most valuable player of the season. San Diego leads it 16-10. Bell and Carrington are the deep backs, and the short kick. It's got to go 10 yards before or be touched by a member of the receiving team. And Denver has it.
Watch Barr, just a little drag kick. A soccer-style kick, and he took it a little bit. No, he didn't. It had gone 10 yards, Charlie.
He had it. He had it. He couldn't hold on to it.
He had a chance at it. Had his hands on the football, but it looks like it's stripped away. 5 yards. It needs to cross the line. It is across the line, and there's the shot that stripped it away right there. Mumford, number 51.
Oh, that's a great play.
Breaks it out, and then he's the one that strips it out underneath. We've got a Charger player down on the field.
I believe it's Elvis Patterson, yes.
Maybe we can go back while Patterson is being helped and look at that touchdown play. A nice job of blocking up front. Let's go back and take a peek at it. Watch now as you get Hall stepping over here. Broderick Thompson will come behind him to block, and David Richards will take the linebacker. Spencer goes through the crack they create. They make some room for him inside. Good blocking right there, and you see the result. He cuts in behind the block on the linebacker and just gets great second effort. Well, I tell you, he got close to the goal line before he got that last surge, but I don't think he'd have been in without that great second effort.
And there's the toast, Elvis Patterson. Denver has the ball. The San Diego just inside the San Diego 45-yard line.
Betsy Glenn has moved up to the corner.
And Kubiak kind of lead back.
Quarterback.
Yes, though to get him for a false start because the defense came with him.
Well, last time these two teams played, Elway suckered the defense with a hard count. Got him about 6 times. Retribution here, perhaps. Well, I don't know.
I think he wanted the ball. I think somebody missed.
Kubiak, I think nobody else was moving.
I think Kubiak had the wrong.
He missed the count.
He missed the count himself. And he did, yes.
An embarrassing moment.
And you're half a step away, and you wonder where the ball is, and then you realize what happened. 1st and 15. Pass is complete over the middle to Johnson.
Whoa.
2nd down 11. Give us a chance now to check out all the scores, the 10-minute ticker. The winners being in white, in case you joined us late. In the AFC, Buffalo will be at Cleveland in one of the playoff games. Denver will host the winner of the wild card game. Houston is in the wild card game. They'll play either Pittsburgh or Cincinnati. That will be decided tomorrow night. The Giants and San Francisco are in the playoffs. The wild card in the NFC. Rams at Philadelphia. The other team, Minnesota or Green Bay, to be decided tomorrow night.
If Minnesota wins, it's Minnesota. If they lose, it's Green Bay.
Kubiak dropped at the 49.
Second sack of the day for Grossman, who continues with his late season drive.
And the 5th sack for the Chargers. And don't forget Championship Monday, the Hall of Fame Bowl, Auburn, Ohio State. Merlin and I will be at the Fiesta Bowl with Jimmy Cephalo. Nebraska, Florida State. The Orange Bowl, Colorado, Notre Dame. OJ and Bob, the insiders, they will be at the Orange Bowl. There they are, and they'll be hosting that whole day. That's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of great football that day. We'll have reports also for you from the Sugar Bowl and the Orange Bowl. Rose Bowl, excuse me. Kubiak tipped, incomplete. Mark Jackson, the intended receiver. And again, if you join us late, Ricky Nattil re-injured that kneecap and is not playing here. And we certainly do hope that he
I
is
saw
healthy
him in the
and
locker
well.
room before the game, Charlie. He said he's hoping that he'll be back for the playoffs, but he was not smiling a lot. He's having some real problem with the same knee. Cracked the kneecap on early in the year and missed a bunch of ball games with.
Here's the kick. And he made good progress, too, coming back. San Diego will stay away. It goes out of bounds. And they will mark it out at the 19-yard line. Just over 6 minutes to go in the season. And the Chargers lead it 16-10.
You kept thinking it will stop, it will at some point, but it went on forever. So there was glass everywhere.
In the living room, I have a 700-pound soapstone wood-burning stove that had bounced all the way across the living room, sitting in the middle of the floor. It was obvious from the very beginning that our house was no longer habitable. When I called my agent and told him we needed to find temporary housing, within 48 hours, Allstate had written me a check to pay for our moving expenses and for our rent. I expected bean pushers, and I got sensitive people instead.
Announcing the biggest sale ever from Ford. Now, Ford gives you a $1,000 cash bonus on the #1 selling cars and trucks in America. A $1,000 cash bonus from Ford on Taurus, Thunderbird, Probe, Tempo, Mustang, and Festiva. A $1,000 cash bonus on the best-selling Ford Escort and Ford Ranger, plus Bronco and Aerostar. Or choose 4.8% financing for 48 months on Taurus and Aerostar. It's the biggest sale ever from Ford, with a $1,000 cash bonus on many of America's best-selling cars and trucks. See your Ford dealer today.
It began as a game. It turned into a battle. And now, it's out of control. Bud Bowl 2. Coming January 28th. This time, it's war.
Jane Pauley, flashback to the 80s, Wednesday on NBC.
The numbers of Billy Joe Tolliver not impressive except for one, 260 yards, and there's a reason that that number is impressive against this defense. Marion Butts, no gain. Mecklenburg was there to meet him, and Atwater came up to help. Why is that number impressive, Merlin?
Well, Charlie, if they can load another 40 yards behind that, Tolliver would become the first quarterback to throw for 300 yards against this Denver defense all year long. So the rookie's percentage has been a little bit suspect, but certainly he has put together a couple of very fine passes and plays with a lot of courage like that. Out of Boyd, Texas. He and his teammates, the 1983 AA champion Yellow Jackets down there. They still love him. They talk about him down there a lot.
Play action fake. Incomplete. Anthony Miller, his favorite receiver. Rick Dennison was there along with Steve Atwater.
One of the bits of fun that they have had in the locker room this week. Sid Brooks, the equipment man, had challenged Red there to a race. They were going to run right after the ball game, and he conned him into a 5-yard head start. Sid Brooks, a real character, the equipment man on the sideline for. Well, you see if we can spot him over there. He's got white suspenders on. He's not hard to find. Well, we'll find him anyway in a bit. But they were supposed to race right after the game on the field. Billy Joe's ribs might give him a little bit of a disadvantage.
It's a tradition. Usually they do it on on the Friday practice of the last week. Darren Nelson, a tearaway jersey, he'd have had 5 or 6 more yards.
Not legal anymore in the NFL.
Randy Robbins with the tackle. And it will be 4th down. There's Sid
Brooks. Yeah, the suspenders are there. They're covered up. You can see them underneath.
The dapper man himself.
One of the real characters in the NFL. And the equipment men of the NFL often like psychiatrists in the locker room. The trainers and the equipment men do a valuable job of buoying the spirits and nursing the wounds of a team, especially in a losing season.
Hank Olsen kicking to Vance Johnson.
Punch style kicker on the ground. Ooh,
big hop taken at the 29. Pass to the 30 and then out of bounds at the 36-yard line. 42 yards on the kick, and that included the bounce, a 6-yard return.
A rookie in the NFL, a 14-year career in the Canadian Football League. Started when he was 17. Has been punching the football like that for a long, long while.
37.
If you stripped Ford Taurus of all its awards, erased all the glowing reviews, removed all evidence of its presence on the road, and introduced it today, Ford Taurus would still be ahead of its time.
Now get 4.8 financing for up to 48 months or a $1,000 cash bonus on Ford Taurus. Come home to the best in college football as Auburn battles Ohio State in the Hall of Fame Bowl. Then number 5 Florida State takes on 6th-ranked Nebraska at the Fiesta Bowl. And a game that will determine the national championship as number 1 Colorado battles 4th-ranked Notre Dame at the Orange Bowl. New Year's Day, the best bowls are on NBC.
Tonight on NBC, a Muppet Family Christmas, Alf's Christmas Special, Super Bloopers, a new Practical Jokes, and a Bill Cosby salute. And of course, that will be on the West Coast at its normal time, and the rest of the country immediately following the telecast of the game. Now, we come to that point that we must talk about Denver and the playoffs. How do you assess their chances?
Well, Charlie, I think one of the things that might be happening on the field today, if they lose this ball game, that might be just a little wake-up call for Denver, that they can't be careless and expect to win. Certainly the quality of the teams they're going to face in the playoffs, I'm sure, better than what they faced here in San Diego today. And I think Dan Reeves, no matter what happens in this game, is going to have plenty of ammunition to sit down and say, let's wake up, let's get going. He has reminded his team of a year when they went 13-3, opened up at home in the playoffs against Pittsburgh and lost that ball game. So he's going to be talking. I like Denver in the playoffs, and I like them for a couple of reasons. They're physical, and they're playing excellent football, and at home, they are tough.
Good football team. I like them to go all the way to the Super Bowl. In fact, I pick them to win the Super Bowl. Ball is airborne, and it is incomplete. They're going to rule it as a pass. His arm was moving forward.
Charlie, I don't know whether that ball came off his hand before the arm started forward or not. Maybe we can see. Good quarterbacks, even when they feel that pressure on the arm, will continue the movement of the arm.
Bert Grossman with the pressure.
Grossman again. Well,
he was low.
So quick.
Yes.
Grossman said when he came into the NFL, I expect to be the best defensive lineman in the NFL. He said, that's why I was the first defensive lineman drafted this year. Well, he's starting to have that kind of impact, certainly in this ball game and in the last half of the season.
And we talk about impact players, and those are the kind of plays that they must make. QBX pass over the middle is complete to Vance Johnson. He goes to the 45-yard line. It'll be 3rd down.
Look at that little quirt on the back of Vance Johnson's head. I've wondered what would happen if somebody grabbed that pigtail.
It hurt.
Tackled him with that.
That would hurt.
He's a real character, an artist.
Usually he has it tucked underneath, though.
Well, has his own way of thinking, his own way of acting, but he has been the clutch receiver for the Broncos this year. Came into this game with 70-run receptions and has had a pile of them today.
Sammy Winder and Jeff Alexander are the 2 setbacks. Play action fake.
First down.
Run all the way. This game is the property of the National Football League. Denver Broncos and San Diego Chargers, all rights reserved. Today's telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Diego Chargers and the National Football League is prohibited. First down at the 45. 3:20 time remaining in the game. Kubiak far side. He's got the first down. And it's Vance Johnson again. 11 yards. And another thing that's happening for Denver is if they need Kubiak in the playoffs, is that he has had an opportunity here as we take another look at the throw to Vance Johnson. Oh, and he just drives the defender off. That's Gilbert, and comes back and takes the reception. He has had quality time. He has played in this game when the game was on the line, like he did in the game in Washington.
And he knew he was going to play in this game. I mean, so often he's had to come up at the last minute. This time he got warning, and it's different. The chemistry is different.
It's a different mindset.
Oh. No, it's Lee Williams.
Yes. His 13th sack of the year.
I think 14th.
14th?
He got one earlier, Charlie.
Right.
And he was one of the co-leaders in the AFC coming into this ball game.
And 6 sacks for the Chargers.
6 sacks for the Chargers today. Williams, number 99, doesn't like playing inside. Playing on Juriga in that situation, blows him away and drives over the top of Kubiak.
Guards are used to facing big fat guys, 300-pound bulldozers who aren't quick and aren't very athletic. Yours truly, Lee Williams.
He says, I'm a defensive end. I'm not a tackle. Well, the tackles in the league are not going to take kindly to that, Charlie.
Well, we won't tell anybody. He said it, all right? Kubiak. This one is complete to Mark Jackson. And Jackson is to the 30-yard line. He's still going to be about 6 yards shy of the first down. He picks up 15.
Let me go back to that quote by Lee Williams. In some ways, he's right about that. And you know why that is, Charlie? When they allowed holding, legalized holding, in my opinion, that what they had to do inside is you almost have to pick up that guard and drive over the top of him to close down the pocket. And Lee Williams is right about that. You had to get much more physical inside. Used to be if you tried to drive over the guard, that was silly. But not true anymore. You got to be big enough to go over the top. He's picked up 15 pounds so he can play inside.
2-minute warning. Chargers lead it by 6.
AT&T, the right choice. George Blanda played pro football for 26 years with 4 different teams. But who holds the record for most seasons with the same team? Jim Hart of the Cardinals, Jim Marshall of the Vikings, or John Brody of the 49ers? Which would you choose?
Did you know that now almost any size business can save with AT&T? If your business is spending as little as $50 a month in long distance, you can save 10 to 28% or more with the new AT&T Pro Watts. It works over your regular telephone lines, and you automatically get bigger and bigger discounts. The more you spend, the bigger the discounts. Whether you're spending $50 a month up to $5,000 a month, we have the one plan for you. Call us. We'll even waive the sign-up fee. Pro Watts, another AT&T advantage.
In 1979, Jim Marshall completed 19 years of service with the Minnesota Vikings. If you said Marshall, you made the right choice.
And here's today's most valuable player, sponsored by Budweiser. It's Santa Claus from the North Pole. And Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way in behalf of Santa and in behalf of all of the other MVPs selected in today's game. I must tell you, he was my first choice. It really was.
Well,
the man is coming tonight. You know that. I'm expecting him. I'm leaving out milk and cookies like always.
He is first in the hearts of so many at this time of year.
I don't miss a trick.
A lot of kids are going to be happy. Can you buy Santa's friendship?
I don't know. Will he take checks? If I leave milk, cookies, and a check, will we find out?
I don't know. Well, for Denver and Kubiak and Reeves, a simple thought. If we're going to win the game, let's get this one in the end zone.
Christmas Eve, you'll have your whole family with you tonight.
That's going to be good.
Mine is spread around the country. Julie and Leon are in Denver, and Chuck and Aaron are in Los Angeles, and Ann and I are going to spend our first Christmas, just the two of us, in 32 years.
Well, would that it were possible that all families could be together on,
yes,
on a Christmas Eve. We know that's not possible, and But for those who are, Merry Christmas. For those who can't do it, and even Merrier Christmas, you deserve it.
Going deep to the corner, it is incomplete. Michael Young with the sure hands, the intended receiver. Vincey Glenn was there. For San Diego, Lee Williams, you're right, 14 sacks, and we now have checked around the conference, and he wins the sack championship of the AFC.
Very, very important numbers. Mark down that on your map.
Dennis Mnuchin on the phone, checking around the league to have that for us.
There he is. And again, coming from the inside, has been playing tackle a great deal this year. The sacks are tougher from the inside. Most of the people on that high sacking list, linebackers like Simon Fletcher, for example, from Denver.
4th and 5.
Another sack.
Another sack. Leslie O'Neal.
O'Neal was only 1 sack behind Williams coming in. That's the 7th sack of the day. O'Neal will make his presence felt on that sack list as well.
He has 2 of the game, came in with 10.5, so he now has 12.5. 10.5. That's what I have on my notes. We'll double check that. Is that right? All right.
Now, Ron Lynn, I think, going to be very proud of his troops and the way they have performed today.
And San Diego with a 6-point lead and 1 minute and 50 seconds left. Have the ball at their own 39-yard line.
They just want to run out the clock.
And Marion Butts has 3. It'll be 3rd down and 7 at the 42.
Broncos quickly call timeout, as they would like to preserve a little time on that clock.
And we'll take a timeout and be back on this Christmas Eve in just a moment.
Interstate Battery Power starts up strong and keeps on going. To find an Interstate Battery dealer near you,
call 1-800-CRANK-IT. Get the power that goes on and on and on, yeah.
Maybe you can't avoid winter, but you can sail right through it in the Caribbean, Florida, or Hawaii. Let American Airlines take you where?
There's something special in the air.
After a scoreless first quarter, Denver led at the half 7-6, and after 3 by 1, 10-9. Chargers have the lead now 16-10. The numbers of Billy Joe Tolliver: 4 interceptions, no touchdown, but he has thrown for 260 yards. And Butts carries to the 41. He'll lose a yard, and Denver will stop the clock again.
Now, Dan Reeves knew when we talked to him yesterday that it was going to be difficult to motivate his Broncos. It has been. This has not been an emotional game for them. There have been some sloppy play, in particular by the offense. A number of turnovers on the day. See the timeouts remaining. Reeves will find a way to use that performance to help motivate his team as they now prepare for the playoffs. Maybe this will be that wake-up call. Maybe it'll get them jacked up, getting them going.
Turnovers: Denver 4, San Diego 5. We have 1 minute and 37 seconds time remaining here. And in a few weeks, Merlin and I will be at the Hula Bowl. Your brother, you played in it. Your brother Phil also played in the Hula Bowl, and he told us that his roommate was the quarterback of the opposition.
Well, not only that, but he knocked him out of the game. I mean, that's when you knock your roommate out of the game, you're in trouble.
But it's really a great game and a lot of fun, and be with us for that one here on NBC. 3rd down. Here's the reverse with Miller.
Fumble.
Ooh. Denver has the ball at the 40-yard line.
One thing you don't want to do in that situation is turn the football over.
Michael Brooks pulled it loose.
And the turnover bites the Chargers.
He got it.
The Broncos will have one more chance to punch their touchdown home. A risk running the ball outside. Anthony Miller had made 2 big gains on that play today. This time he makes a big mistake.
There was a Bronco hand in there. Brooks recovered. The Bronco hand that reached in and pull it loose.
Strip the football away, as they have been doing in Denver for a long, long time.
At the San Diego 40-yard line, first down, trailing by 6 with 1:28. Kubiak goes deep, has a man open. Flag is down at the 4. Michael Young is going to be pass interference against San Diego.
Vincey Glenn, number 25, forced into play at the corner because of Patterson being hurt. He is not a match over there. He's a safety trying to play corner. Michael Young gets away, and Vincey Glenn nails him
San Diego,
before the ball arrives.
And it'll be a 35-yard penalty to the 5, first down and goal to go. But he did save a touchdown.
He certainly did. And in terms of that, may have done the only thing he had a choice for. And he is forced to play out of position. Tough San Diego play. Now they got to make the goal line stand.
1:21 left. Sewell's going to throw the pass. And it's incomplete.
Another flag down, Charlie. Another flag. And I think they're going to call interference again. One of the linebackers, it might have been Plummer, getting there late.
Pass interference. Defense in the end zone. The ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. First down and goal.
First down and goal, a pair of pass interference calls. We believe that one on Vincey Glenn, too.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, look, it's right at the back of the end zone. Sewell throwing the pass.
I'm not
right,
sure about that.
That's 25. It's Vincey Glenn, but I don't think
it was. Pat Kelly was the intended receiver.
You're right. It's 25, and they are not going to get in with that one.
That's Jeff Alexander.
1:10. Plenty of time on the clock. Second down. Same area of the field, not at the same end where Denver had their brilliant goal line stand a while ago.
Let's take a look at that play in the end zone. I'm not that positive that was pass interference.
There was no question the one before this was interference. But this time, I think Vincey Glenn arrives right with the ball and strips it away. I agree with you, Charlie. That's a bad call.
Alexander, there is no signal from the officials.
I thought he got in.
I did too. There it is. Yes, it's official.
There's some fisticuffs going on down there. Alexander finally throws the ball into the stands. He'll pay for that. But he doesn't care. He's got his touchdown.
The kick to break the tie. The fumble. 2 pass interference calls. Alexander from a yard out. We're tied 16-16. 35 seconds left. David Treadwell to break the tie. He has not missed an extra point this year. He misses wide right. Unbelievable. Overtime on Christmas Eve? You gotta be kidding.
And Dan Reeves, in total disbelief, now begins to rally the troops. What an amazing final 2 minutes of this game. He just pushed it off to the right and left it. He pushed it off to the right and left it. For the first time all year, Treadwell, who led the AFC in scoring, who's headed for the Pro Bowl, has misfired on an extra point. And look at him. He cannot believe it either. Here's that touchdown run. Well,
we sprinkle it with a little Santa Claus dust, a little magic dust, and we'll bring it back out and show it to you again. Here it is. Orson
Mobley going inside from his motion position, and there's the second effort again. Jeff Alexander stopped once before the goal line, simply twisted his body and surged in.
And the kickoff. Low bouncing kick to break up the rhythm of any kind of return. This is Jamie Holland. Holland to the 20, the 25, and he goes out of bounds with 31 seconds away from overtime. Now here's the situation. If it does end in a tie, then there'll be 3 minutes between the end of the ball game and the start of overtime, and we would play one period unless there is a score. If there's a score of any kind, safety, field goal, touchdown, the game is immediately over. If there's no score at the end of a 5th quarter, another full 15 minutes, then they will go into the books as a tie. Tolliver, 18 of 44, 260 yards, 4 interceptions. Yes.
You have to wonder if maybe San Diego didn't get a little cute with that reverse call for the 3rd time, Charlie, but they have got an opportunity now to still win this ball game.
Tolliver wide open is McCune. And San Diego will stop the clock, 21 yards.
Barr has been hot today. It made his longest field goal of the year. If they can get one more like that, they can get him in range.
He's hit from 22, 42, and 53.
He missed 140 some odd yarder.
52. He was short from 52.
52. Missed the 52.
.22 seconds, and the score: Denver 16, San Diego 16. The ball just shy of the 50-yard line.
What a strange finish to this ball game. You look at Dan Reeves. I'm sure Dan Reeves is saying, maybe this is a bad dream. Maybe I just dreamed that we missed that extra point.
Scrooge said that also, if you read Charles Dickens. Yes. 16-16 the score. 22 seconds. Back underneath the coverage, 42-yard line. A gain of 8.
Quick timeout. They're picking it down there. They're not far away from field goal range now.
And San Diego will have 1 timeout remaining. The Broncos also have 1 timeout remaining. They would like to save their last timeout to bring in the field goal team. Another completion of 10 yards, 11 yards, around the 30-yard line. You're within range, and you've got time. And he's hit from 42 and 53 today.
Working across the middle, and you have this luxury when you have timeouts. Without timeouts, you've got to go to the sideline. Darren Nelson, pass down specialist. He's done that so well over the years for the Minnesota Vikings. Does it here for the San Diego Chargers. And Tolliver, in spite of his rocky start, Charlie, has shown us flashes today of the kind of brilliance that encouraged the Chargers to take him with a 2nd pick last year and causes them to believe that he is the quarterback of the future.
In case you're wondering, we mentioned that Chris Barr hit from 53, his longest of the year. His career long is 55, but that was a long time ago. That was 1979, 10 years ago. And the last timeout at the 33-yard line.
It's going to be about a 50-yard field goal.
Quinn Early on the receiving end, 11 seconds.
Did Tolliver get enough for his 300 yards? I'll bet he's awfully close to it.
299.
Well.
And the record.
You want to recount? Billy Joe wants to recount. He'd like to be over the 300.
Go back through the film and look for one more. However, if we go into overtime, the yardage will count, and then he will get the 300. If he has an opportunity. His Christmas present, 1 yard.
Give him the yard, Charlie.
Wrap it up.
Give him the yard. Now, right now, what they're thinking about, and maybe they're going to try one more shot. One more pass. 11 seconds.
11 seconds, yeah.
They've got to kill the clock.
But they don't have any more timeouts.
They've got to kill the clock. They'll either go to the sideline or perhaps try someone deep. But it's got to be a clock-killing play. Otherwise, there's no time.
I think I'd kick it now. Underneath the coverage and out of bounds. 6 seconds. And now the field goal team will come out.
Anthony Miller, the main man. And Miller, whose fumble enabled the Broncos to pick up that touchdown, will come streaking left to right. There he is. No chance. Wayman Henderson, 24, stretching out. But Anderson picks up what Miller picks up that extra 6 yards, makes this a much more makeable field goal.
And the gift for Tolliver. The gift for Tolliver. He got the extra yards. He's over 300.
There it is.
45 yards away for the win. Yes, for San Diego.
And a game that started with so little emotion ends on an emotional high for the San Diego Chargers.
Chris Barr with 4 field goals.
For the Chargers, Charlie, a chance to build off these last 2 victories as they look into 1990. For the Broncos, just a bad day at the office. They've got more football to play. They'll be playing it at home in the playoffs.
And the winning 45-yard field goal.
What a nice way for Chris Barr to finish his season.
And to celebrate Christmas.
It'll make you mutter to yourself.
The final score, San Diego wins it 19-16.